Guys, we are back with another teaching video. Today we are going to talk about how to stop topping your woods. I know this happens a lot to people out there, and we're going to help you guys out. We got my man Eric. Hey.
Thanks for having me out, Grant.
Thank you, man. You guys have probably seen him before, but he's a great teacher, and he's going to help us along the way today with this video. So let's get right into it. So if you guys don't know Eric, Eric is a wonderful teacher. He's been teaching this game for around 16 years now. You have a YouTube channel. I watched his stuff and I was like, dang, we got to get this guy on the channel. He knows so much about the golf swing. So I'm topping my 3-wood. I can't stop. How are you going to help me?
Yeah, it's a common issue. And for you guys that are watching, I would say there's like a big 3, maybe a bonus 4th thing for us to talk about.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of golfers struggle with the fairway woods. If you're trying to hit your fairway woods better off the turf in particular, 3 or 4 things you want to pay attention to. Yeah. Grant, if you want to take your setup position in there, I would say the first thing, and this is kind of a macro, maybe a little bit too simple, but it's important, guys, is you want to be able to swing your 3-wood at the same tempo, the same feeling as you swing your other clubs, like a 7 or 8 iron.
100%.
I think a lot of times, just like ego-wise, we get that 3-wood in, we're like, oh gosh, we're 260 from the pin. I got to really try and swing harder because the ball's got to go farther. Right. When in fact, your tempo should feel like the same, and the club itself and the less loft should make it go farther.
Exactly, and I feel like when you're talking about swinging hard, when you swing hard, you tend to raise up and get after it and jump, and the body comes up, you're gonna probably top it. But if you keep that smooth tempo, like say a wedge, or your mid irons, you're probably going to bottom out in the correct position and you're going to hold a balanced follow through. So that's a good first point there.
Yeah, it's kind of simple. Do you want to hit one just with your normal tempo? So like Grant hits this one, like watch him hit and the tempo he hits with, and you're going to notice it'll be very similar to if he's hitting like a 5 iron or a 7 iron or even a short iron. The tempo doesn't really change at all just because we're farther from the hole.
Yep, this is a 250-yard shot here.
Yeah, good contact, a little bit of pulley, but
down
still,
the left,
yeah, good hit. And so like you'll notice when he hits that, there's not like a huge rush or change of tempo. That's number one, kind of a simple one. Right. The second thing, Grant, that I see a lot, because this club has very little loft, like what does your 3-wood have on there?
Let's see what it's got, 15 degrees.
We got a TaylorMade Q10? QI10?
QI10.
So 15 degrees, so that's not a lot of loft relative to like a 9 iron or something. Right. So a lot of times in an effort to try and help lift the ball or get it up into the air, we have an issue with number 2, which is weight shift. Yeah. Specifically hanging back too much.
Yeah, and trying to, exactly, when you hang back and you try and lift it, that's when you're gonna catch the upper half of this ball. And guys, when we say topping, in case you're new to golf and you don't even know what the term topping is, we're basically saying when you're catching that ball on the top half of it and you're catching on the bottom of this club, it's going about 5 feet. You've probably done it before, we've all done it. Every single golfer has done it. If they told you they haven't done it, they're lying. Yeah. So.
And when we do this well in terms of the weight shift, Grant, maybe do 1 or 2 practice swings. Yeah. You're going to notice the club head, you know, you want to have a little bit of interaction with the turf. Yep. Right? Like there's
either bottom out in that same position.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a clip or even a little thud. Like don't be afraid of that club head taking a little bit of turf on the way down. Right. And we'll notice when Grant does this, and we'll kind of look at this maybe from face on, he's going to get all of his weight into his finish position forward. He's not going to be hanging back on the back foot. Maybe, Grant, show us like a bad, you don't have to hit, but just like a bad finish position. Yeah. Weight hanging back. That's a top shot all day long, right?
They fall back. You actually see the arch here, and then this foot's actually like sometimes, like I've seen people follow through with it almost in the air back here. It's wild to look at. But yeah, this is, when you're falling back in this way, when you're moving backwards, your arc is going to probably be starting to move up by the time it gets to the golf ball. Yeah. And we want that arc, when we're talking about weight transfer and stuff, we want that arc to be bottoming out right at the ball and low.
Yeah, and so if you're someone who tops it too, Grant, do that bad one more time quick. Yep. So either what's going to happen is what Grant said, where it bottoms out back here and you hit on the way up and it's thin, or some of you might experience this, the low point's still back. You actually catch the turf, but you'll take that divot back behind the golf ball. Yeah. That can actually be like the same issue as the top shot. 2 different outcomes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, exactly. That's a fat shot. You're basically hitting it back here. You're going to bounce the club into it. You're still probably going to top it at the same time.
bad contact. So
yeah.
let's hit another one, Grant.
Okay.
Key number 1, right, we're keeping the tempo the same. Don't try and swing your 3-wood harder. Key number 2 is always get your weight forward. Like we'll notice with Grant into his finished position, all of the weight's gonna be up on his front foot. His hips are gonna be pushed nicely forward towards the target. We're not trying to hang back to help lift it up.
Yep. Okay, let's hit one here. Try and hit the green.
Yeah, so maybe just like on the right edge of the green up there.
Yeah. A little bit to the right.
And same thing, like one of the things I love about Grant's swing, you guys probably do as well, man, his tempo's so good. It just looks smooth and effortless and easy. And that remains the same with the 3-wood. So weight shift, number 2.
Yep.
The third thing I'd look at is like arm structure.
Yes.
Or arms bending too much.
Yeah.
So let me hop in there, Grant, for 1 second. So when we work through the golf ball, if you watch a good 3-wood player, Grant, any good players, the matches he plays against, you'll notice when they come down, the club head's gonna go slightly down into the golf ball, but then through the ball, their arms are gonna be fully extended at about this 45-degree past impact position, maybe 2 feet past the ball.
Right.
Now, if I come in, Grant, stand right over here for a second. Grant's gonna be the ground for a minute. So if I hold this up and my arms are extended, this would be like the club head close to the ground. Now watch as I bend my arms, where does the club head go? Closer to the ground or farther away?
Farther away.
Farther away. Now if I take that down to the golf ball, there's
and that's
no
what
way I
you
would
see at
get
impact on a lot of golfers. It's called the chicken wing. You guys have probably heard it before. Exactly. So that's the dreaded chicken wing. So the arm is actually doing this through impact. You're probably going to top it if you have a chicken wing.
Yeah, nothing good coming from there. So when Grant hits, right, the tempo's going to stay the same. The weight's going to shift forward. But if he comes up, Grant, let's take a setup here kind of next to the ball.
Yep.
And keep your hands on the club the whole time.
Yep.
So I'm going to move Grant just to show you guys. Let's say he's coming down and through the ball, he hits the ground, but right at about here's where you want to focus in on. These arms should absolutely be fully extended past the golf ball. That helps get the club away from you and hit the ground consistently.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
That's a great point to talk about. Yeah, because I just feel like getting your arms, like some people feel like they can't even get to the ball, and like there's got to be a point in which you release the energy at the ball. And those arms gotta snap and extend through the ball.
Through the ball, yeah, exactly.
So another one.
So the weight shift part as he goes, the weight shift, Grant, right, controls the low point location. Back or forward. So you wanna hit that. But the arm structure controls how far you can get the club away from you, right? You wanna control both of those pieces.
So we're gonna focus on, we'll focus on weight here.
Yeah, weight going forward, arms straightening through the hit. Neutral tempo. Weight forward, arm straight. Weight forward, arm straight.
How does that feel?
Uh-oh. Is that going in?
Oh, that's at it.
We got a good line here.
First,
very
we're
nice.
on the green.
So that's probably like maybe 20 feet from the pin there. Beautiful 3-wood shot.
Yeah, we need to do an episode on how to hit when your shadow's over top of you. The second my shadow goes away, I stripe it. When I see my head moving, I'm like a head
Does
kick.
that mess you up?
Oh, it messes me up so bad. We have to do it on that. No one talks about that.
Steady head.
Guys, I'm weird. I got a shadow issue. When I see my shadow and I see my head moving, dude, I start to spray it out there. It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great point.
3 no-brainers for everyone to check for all of us. Keep the tempo neutral. Get the weight shifting forward. You don't have to help it up. And extend your arms through the ball. Those are like universal good. As a bonus, I would say, let's say you're doing all those, and I would do them in order if you struggle with 3-wood. Do the tempo first. If that solves it, do just that. Right? Add the weight shift, add the arms. If you're like, guys, I'm doing that, I'm still hitting top shots. The last little piece I would look at is we call inclination of the ground. Right, which is keep your spine angle. So like if I set up, say, on this angle where my body's bent over like this, some golfers through the ball will end up losing that angle or standing up.
So the spine, he's saying, is going vertical in this way. So he's standing up, and that's going to make the club go away from the ground.
And so if my body at setup is 4 feet from the ground, Grant, why don't you take a setup here? If Grant's like 4 feet from the ground at your setup position, let's just say his body's on this angle, during the downswing, if he's 5 feet from the ground, he's never going to get down to the ball.
Can't get down to it.
So a simple way to solve that is through the hit, you want to feel like the right shoulder or right side of your body replaces that inclination on the way through.
So I'm almost feeling that right shoulder pointed at the ball at impact.
Right shoulder down. Right shoulder down. If your right shoulder's down and you extend your arms, it's very hard to not hit the ground. And we don't want to be afraid to hit the ground with the 3-wood.
That's something I just wanted to touch on too. It's another little kind of added point is don't be afraid to hit down and take even the slight little divot. If anything, let's err on that side. Let's err on taking a little bit of turf, little ground interaction. Don't be afraid to hit down on your woods. I know you want to lift it into the air. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's not quite an iron swing. It's not quite a driver swing. It's kind of a unique thing, but slight downward angle of attack.
Yep. Well, guys, hopefully that helped you. We covered a bunch of different points on how to stop topping your woods. We will link all of Eric's socials in the description if you guys want to go check out his teaching channel. He's a bunch of instructional stuff that's helped me out to help you guys out as well. So until next time, guys, peace.